What is the singularity? According to Ray Kurzweil, author of The Singularity is Near and founder of Singularity University, the singularity is an era in which our intelligence will become increasingly non-biological and trillions of times more powerful than it is today. The dawning of a new civilization that will enable us to transcend our biological limitations and amplify our creativity. That is why it is called singularity, because experts believe it is impossible to predict how the human future might unfold after this point. Once these machines exist, Kurzweil claims, we will possess a superhuman intelligence that is so incomprehensible that we cannot even rationally guess how our life experiences would be altered. According to Kurzweil, scientists have come much closer than people realize to reverse engineering the human brain. Ultimately, everything of importance will be compromised essentially of information technology. Basically, we will be able to design our own babies and redesign ourselves. Biotechnology is providing the means to actually change your genes, not just designer babies, but designer baby boomers. With nanotechnology, we will be able to go beyond the limits of biology and replace your current human body version 1.0 with a dramatically upgraded version 2.0, providing radical life extension. Is this really the reality of our future? It may be hard to wrap our head around such a notion. Jason Silva, a futurist and philosophical filmmaker, explains the reason this is hard for us to understand is because exponential growth, the growth rate of technology, is counterintuitive to the way our brains perceive the world. Our brains evolved in a world that was linear and local, but now we live in a world that is global and exponential. Our brains cannot make sense of this rate of change. Our brains are linear, meaning they think one step at a time, like 1, 2, 3. To think exponentially, our brains would have to double the number for every step taken instead. We have handheld devices that are more powerful than supercomputers that took up half a block 50 years ago. In 25 years, it will be the size of a blood cell. Technological and human evolution is in symbiosis. Eventually, we are going to close the loop between human evolution and technological innovation because technology will be inside of us. By reverse engineering life, we decommission natural selection. Now we can decide what we wish to become. When people hear about these predictions, they immediately reel in the Matrix or the Terminator scenario. That singularity will be the exact moment when artificial intelligence becomes smarter than people. When this occurs, computers will be able to grow exponentially upon themselves and reproduce themselves, and their intelligence billions of times faster than the human intelligence can grow. Then the human race will cease to exist. However, singularity optimists have a different expectation. Terence McKenna, a lecturer and writer, suggested that technology is the real skin of our species. He says technology is psychedelic, which means mind manifesting. Now we are able to take matter of low organization, put it through our mental filters, and extrude it in the form of airplanes and smartphones. Somebody dreamed of flight, now it's reality. Punch a few buttons and we can send our thoughts through time and space. Jason Silva uses these points to back up his claim that technology is nothing but an extension of ourselves. Through technology, we transcend the limitations of thought, reach, and vision. We transcend time, space, and distance. For this reason, we should embrace the emergence of the singularity and participate in the acceleration of its evolution. According to the beliefs of those anticipating the singularity, faster and better machines will produce faster, better machines at an exponential rate, and eventually the machines will become so powerful that they rival human intelligence. Most people who subscribe to the notion of the singularity believe that when it comes, we will upload our consciousness into a computer and live forever. It will be the death of death. Personally, I find this a bit far-fetched. Fortunately, I'm in good company. Paul Allen, best known as the co-founder of Microsoft with Bill Gates, argues that the singularity may not be as close as people think. To achieve the singularity, it isn't enough just to run today's software faster. We would also need to build smarter and more capable software programs. Creating this kind of advanced software requires a prior scientific understanding of the foundations of human cognition, and we are just scraping the surface of this. He goes on to explain that the prior need to understand the basic science of cognition is where the singularity is near argument fails. It is true that computer hardware technology can develop amazingly quick once we have a solid scientific framework. However, creating the software for a singularity level computer intelligence will require fundamental scientific progress beyond where we are in today. In other words, there is still much more we need to understand about the human mind in order to achieve the singularity. Gaining a comprehensive scientific understanding of human cognition is one of the hardest problems there is. We continue to make encouraging progress, but by the end of the century, we believe we will still be wondering if the singularity is near. Though I do not rule out the theory of the singularity, I can confidently conclude based on my research that this era is still far beyond our time. It's fun to entertain the idea, but for now it seems pretty fair to say that we won't be injecting nanotechnology into our blood anytime soon.